Hey class, it's Mr. Ayaga. I'm coming to you from my hotel room on the 29th floor in Denver, Colorado. And I've been noticing over the last few days, you'll have some questions on the project, on the informative speech. So I just wanted to kind of go through it with you, give you some ideas on how to present. That seems to be the thing most people have issues with trying to figure it out. The goal of this is to try to present it as you would in a classroom. Whether you're in the internet version of this class or the hybrid version, this is how that's going to be done. So you can see behind me, I've got, well, I'll get to that. I'm kind of ahead of myself. So I'm going to read through the speech. Hopefully you've already started the project. I really hope you do, because it's due this coming Sunday. And you need every bit of the 2 weeks I gave you to work on it. And because the next one, the demonstrative speech, is coming up very soon, just right after this one. It's the next one that we do for my speech 1311 class. If you're in my other 1315 class, public speaking is something a little different. But at any rate, the information is still the same. Okay. So the purpose of this informative speech is to inform your audience on something that they previously did not know. This is sometimes difficult. A good public speaker will find ways to get the audience involved and provide clever ways of presenting a topic. Okay. So this is another reason why I don't actually tell you what to speak on, because if you're not interested in it, why bother? You want to talk on something you like and something that interests you, so I don't limit your topics on that. Below are the guidelines. I'm reading straight off the assignment. Below are the guidelines for this assignment. By now you should know the elements on how to give a proper speech, or at least the textbook knowledge and visual aids. You must complete all aspects of the assignment the way they're assigned in order to get a good grade. Remember, the speeches are worth 40% of your grade, so you need to make sure that you follow the instructions. And if you don't know something, you need to ask me, because if you don't ask and you get something wrong, it's going to be really difficult to repair your grade at this point, because remember, all the speeches average together for 40%. Okay, so if you don't do one, or you don't do one correctly, it's going to have an impact on your grade. Okay, the time requirement is 6 to 8 minutes. That means 6 to 8 minutes. If you go over 15 minutes, that's just as bad as not meeting the actual time requirement. And if your speech is only 2 minutes long, that's a problem. But if you're 5 minutes and 45 seconds, or 8 minutes and 58 seconds, or even if you go slightly over 9 minutes in 30 seconds, it's not a big deal. But if you go way over, because I watch all of these, and if I have to spend 15 minutes plus all the time reading your paper, writing my notes, that kind of thing, that's why I ask for a specific time frame. If you're in a public speaking format and you're only allotted 6 to 8 minutes, then that means there's someone after you, or there's something else. So you have to respect the time restraint. Okay. You must submit a video on YouTube or Vimeo. Do not email me an actual video file, because I won't open it. I've already explained that. Don't make the video private. Okay. If you have any issues with privacy or something like that, post it on a friend's account. You can actually make an account and not have it searchable. There's different ways of doing this. But I won't open an actual video file emailed to me. And if you make it private and I can't view it at the time I'm grading, you're going to get that grade at that time. So it's not going to be a good grade. You'll instantly at least get a 50, because half the project was the actual speech. So make sure it's not private, because I won't go back, because it takes me so long to grade all these things. So I need to, if it's not available by the time I'm going to grade it, then that's on you, not me. Okay. Let's see. You need to present your speech as if it were in a classroom. I'm essentially doing the same thing here. I'm in my hotel room at the Hyatt Hotel in Denver, Colorado, 29 floors up. You can do it anywhere. If I've had some students actually sit in a bathroom or a closet, just because there's a lot of people in their house or something like that. I've had students go use a classroom at the college or the high school. It doesn't matter. If you can find a place where you can do essentially what I've got set up here, it's not a problem. Also, your video does not have to be professional quality, as long as I can read it or watch it and hear you. I don't care. Now, if you're sitting in a dark room and you're don't have a light on you and it's very loud because your air conditioner is running, something like that, I can't. It's hard for me to do that. But like I said, I'm only using my iPad, and the camera on the iPad. You can use your phone. If you do that, like my iPad right now, it's propped up against something. So I've had students in the past where someone's holding the phone and they're sitting in a chair and they have the phone resting on them. So you see the phone go up and down with the breathing, or it continually shakes all the time. Just find something to prop up with your device, whatever you're recording. You don't have to have a professional camera, anything like that. Like I said, my iPad right now is propped up on the trash can, the little trash can in the hotel room. Whatever you need. It took me like 20 minutes to figure out the setup here. You know, it's quiet in here. It's my hotel room, but you know, you get the picture. You don't have to use specialized equipment or microphones or have special lighting. I just make sure the window's right here. I have the window open and the lamp on behind me so you can see me. So you don't have to go to great lengths to do these assignments, okay? So this brings me to the actual setup. You can have, like I said, you need to try to replicate being in a classroom. So like all I have right now is my computer, my MacBook here, and it's connected to the TV, okay? So you can do that, and kind of like I'm doing, you have your visual aider right here with your PowerPoint on it, and you can do, you know, hold your outline and do it like that. Or you can sit with your computer right next to it and go through your PowerPoint slides that way. I really don't care. Most of us have a device with an HDMI outlet, and you can connect it to your TV. You know, all I did was just, you know, I brought my own cable because I usually watch videos while I'm in a hotel room, but because I travel a lot. But you know, you can make this work in your house or wherever you're going to shoot this. So you can sit next to your laptop on a desk, a table. It doesn't matter. As long as someone's holding the camera, you prop up your phone or whatever, against something that won't move, and you can make this work. If you're doing this will come in more into to effect later in the semester if you're doing the demonstrative speech. If you're going to do something outside and it's a windy day, I wouldn't do it. If you don't have a professional microphone or anything like that, I'm not going to be able to hear you, so I wouldn't recommend that. Okay, so in the actual speech, what you need to turn in, and it's clearly outlined in the assignment, so if you still have questions, I would revert you back to the actual assignment. You need to turn in the link to the video on YouTube or Vimeo. You need to attach to the assignment. There's a way to attach multiple assignments in Blackboard. There's a video on it in the helpful information folder, how to do this. The outline, an actual paper, which is, I usually prefer, it's like 3 to 5 pages. That does not count your works cited page, but you need to have the proper in-text citations and works cited page in MLA format. There's links on how to do that in the helpful hints or helpful information folder there in Blackboard. Make sure when you are, okay, so if you do, well, you have to do a works cited page. I don't care if it's attached to your actual paper, but just know that it's not part of the word count or the page count. So if you turn in 2 pages of an actual paper plus the 1 page of the works cited page, that doesn't count. Okay, it never has. Even when I was in college and grad school, it didn't count. So it needs to be 3 to 5 pages of actual writing, 12-point font. Make sure it's a standard font and not anything crazy. Don't use Courier New or something like that to make it the page, you know, increase your page count. I've tried it. I failed when I was in grad school. I've done it, so I can spot it a mile away, so don't do that. Also on your PowerPoint, I should not be able to know what you're talking about on your PowerPoint by just looking at it. In fact, the PowerPoint's the first thing I look at. Your PowerPoint needs to be bullet points, very short bullet points. I don't want you to take your entire paper and paste it into a PowerPoint. That's not the purpose of it, because if you're in an actual setting where you're presenting to an audience and you have your paper on a PowerPoint slide, they're not going to be listening to you. They're going to be trying desperately to read what's on there before you change slides. So I should only see bullet points, you know, pictures, that kind of thing. Okay, so it should not be big paragraphs. It should be short, incomplete bullet points, incomplete sentences in bullet point format. Okay, similar to your outline. Your presentation should not, it should only enhance your presentation. It should not replace it. So like I said, I should not know what you're doing based on your PowerPoint. Okay, you need to use at least 3 credible sources. Remember, Wikipedia is not a credible source, so if you actually try to put that on your works cited page, you will fail this assignment. And the reason I do that is because anyone can edit Wikipedia. That, I mean, it's very easy to edit a Wikipedia page. So don't use that. Make sure it's something credible, that someone's published it in a national journal or anything like a news media outlet like NBC, CBS, Fox News, whatever outlet. But if it's someone's YouTube blog that they make their own newscast, that's not a credible source. Okay. If it's any site that someone who doesn't publish anything or isn't a professional in that industry, that isn't actually doing that professionally, that's not a credible source. So let's say, for instance, I run a distillery. I manufacture alcohol. I'm very fluent on all of the federal laws and things that I have to abide by. I'm in the field now. In fact, that's why I'm in Denver. I'm at a conference right now. That would be a credible source.